Ladies and gentlemen, first you had the Kia Carens. Next, you had the Kia Carens Clavis. And now, you have the Kia Carens Clavis EV. What it is a premium electric people carrier that aims to chauffeur people around in opulence and efficiency. But the question still remains. With the Kia Carens Clavis around similar price levels and getting similar amount of features, how does the electric powertrain stack up against its ICE-powered version? Well, that's exactly what we're going to find out, so let's get started. So of course, let's start with the exterior styling, and well, this won't be a very long PTC because not a lot have changed. If you have seen the Kia Carens Clavis, then you will be familiar with the Clavis EV. If you move to the front, the major difference which comes about is this electric charging flap right over here. That's where you'll find the charging ports for this vehicle. Other than that, a lot of it remains the same. You get this new matte silver paint scheme which you also got with the Clavis, and I think it really suits this persona. Overall, the design is the contemporary styling which they've used in the Ceros. It got to the Clavis. Now, of course, you have it with the Clavis EV as well. And with the bits and bobs with the EV gets over the Clavis, overall it is a stylish vehicle. It catches the eye, and what they aim for, being a premium people carrier, it represents exactly that. You get LED lights, you get LED fog lights, you get a connected DRL strip, and then move to the side, you get 17-inch crystal cut dual tone alloy wheels. I think those also lend a bit of aura to the mix and overall add to the road presence of the Kia Carens Clavis EV. Next, if you step towards the back, surprise, surprise, not a lot has changed. Styling remains largely similar. You get integrated spoiler, you get a roof spoiler. However, you can't mount anything to it. You have a warning on the side which tells you that. But anyway, let's move on. You get this connected LED tail lamp, this rather large embossed and 3D Kia logo, and overall it looks good. But the only two differentiating factors which you'll find in the EV versus the ICE version is this Clavis EV badge over here and the green number plate. Overall, styling remains the same, the road presence remains the same, which is not a bad thing. The Clavis, when it came out, it had a contemporary styling mixed in with utilitarian design language, and overall I think it works. It really does work. So let's move inside because I think the major changes can be found there. So ladies and gentlemen, step inside and the story remains largely the same. Like you saw with the exterior styling, the interior styling and features remain largely alike with the EV and the ICE models. You get soft touch materials on the dashboard, metal inserts, this twin 12.25-inch screen setup, this touch-based panel for the media and the HVAC system, the steering wheel, the seats, the seat design, all of it remains largely the same. However, there are subtle differences which you get between the two. First and foremost, you get EV specific graphics like this EV specific mode right here. Next, the paddle shifters now control the regen modes. And next, you had an integrated one-piece center console running across the length of the front seats. Now you have this floating style center console with a retractable lid and two cup holders, the controls for the AC vents, the auto hold feature, the hill descent, the parking sensors and the parking cameras. All those buttons have also moved to this floating style center console. Next, you also have wireless charging and you have a rather large area for storage right below it. So overall, I think the styling, yes, remains largely alike, which I liked, but I think practicality has been improved, and because you find a different style of center console, the gear selector has become a column style one like you find in the Kia EV6. So I think that's a win-win for the family and for the driver as well. And then if you step towards the second row of seats, I think comfort and practicality are the name of the game. Now don't get me wrong, I think there's enough space as well. You get enough space for my legs, for my head, for my shoulders. Now for your reference, I'm 5'6" and I'm decently comfortable. However, if there is someone who is above 6 feet, they may find it a bit cramped. But I think the practicality and the features is what makes up for it. You get a rather large armrest. Next, you get AC controls. You get two Type-C charging ports. You also get a 250 volt 16 ampere AC charging port. You have an air purifier. You get a snacks table. You get plenty of storage spaces in the bins and behind the seat back cushions. You have a sun visor, and then the seats are movable as well. You can move the seat backs for both seats, this one and this one as well. So overall, I think space is taken care of, comfort is taken care of, and practicality is there as well with features to match. But the same cannot be said for the third row of seats. Now, when we first drove the Kia Carens and then when we drove the Kia Clavis, I think the biggest complaint was the space in the third row. Unfortunately, that hasn't changed much. But good for me is that I am the shortest person in the autoX team, and for me, I think it's not that much of a problem. My colleagues like Akash Paul and Ishan Raghav or Shivang Bhatt, all of them did have a problem with the third row seat. For me, I don't have that much of a problem. It can be comfortable for a few 100-kilometer journeys, but anything beyond that may get a bit uncomfortable. You do get a Type-C charging port, a bottle storage area, a mobile storage area, and the fact that this can be adjusted as well basically means that yes, there is limited amount of space, but I think Kia has done their best to make this decently comfortable as well. And if I had to be seated here, I will have complaints after a while, but I think it will be comfortable for around town usage and for small out of town usage as well. Now, to add to the practicality, there is another subtle difference between the Clavis EV and the regular Clavis. That is a frunk space. Here you'll find 25 liters of storage space. Right now we have two bags, one for the V2L adapter, one for the car charging cable, and those have pretty much taken up all the room. But if you don't have these here, you can use it to store small amount of luggage as well. So overall, as I said, sticking with the theme of the interior, I think you get everything that the Clavis got, but added bit of practicality to the mix. So it's time to start driving, and I think before we get to how it feels to drive over the ICE-powered versions, I think we should get done with the specifications first. Now, as I told you, there are two battery pack options. One is the 42 kilowatt amp battery pack. Now that makes a total of 138 bhp with 255 newton meters of peak torque, and that can do 404 kilometers on a single charge. Next, you have the 51.4 kilowatt hour version. Now that makes 169 bhp with 255 newton meters of peak torque, and that can do 490 kilometers on a single charge. And ladies and gentlemen, what we have here is of course the extended range version, and let me tell you, I think the biggest benefit of an electric vehicle, especially for something like the Clavis EV, is the fact that the electric powertrain with its instantaneous torque and acceleration can make something like this feel fun and fast. And the best part about it is that it's smooth. It's smooth to get off the line, it's smooth while picking up speed, and even in sport mode, I think it definitely alters the characteristics of how it drives. It feels a little more instantaneous, it's more responsive, and even in the mid-throttle roll-ons, I think it picks up speed a lot faster, but all of it is smooth. I think that is the key word here. This really does feel like the perfect family runabout. It is not only comfortable for the family, as I'll talk about in my ride and handling, but if you are someone who chauffeurs the family around and you are an enthusiast, I think this can end up being a lot of fun, no matter if you're carrying the passengers around or if you're doing it solo. Over that, the benefit of this being so smooth is the fact that none of the passengers will have a problem with you being a little aggressive with your throttle inputs. That's because it's just so smooth. As you guys can see, I've pinned the throttle, but I can still talk to the camera without it moving all that much. And that is also the story which plays out for the passengers at the back. They will be pinned into their seats just a tad bit, but they won't have a lot of complaints. Then if you talk about ride and handling, right from the Clavis itself, we found this car to be a smooth and comfortable performer. It absolutely glides over bad roads, over potholes, and over broken surfaces of tarmac, and it even feels smooth if you have undulated long stretches of highway. It gets over all of them without breaking a sweat, and if you do get a little frisky while trying to drive this car through corners, I think it holds its line well as well. It feels communicative, it feels engaging, and overall it's so easy and effortless. That's why I keep coming back to the point that this may be the perfect family runabout. Not only is it fast and fun, but it also handles itself well, it's comfortable, it can absolutely glide over bad roads no matter where. Take Gurgaon for example. Gurgaon has some of the worst roads that I've known, and I think this will be able to take all of that in its stride. So ladies and gentlemen, what do we think of the new Carens Clavis EV, and who is this vehicle meant for? In my personal opinion, I like it. It is something that will definitely be spacious, fun, feature loaded and efficient, and that is exactly who it's meant for. It's meant for a family who will have an occasional driver who will want to drive himself. He wants the fun, but he also wants the comfort and practicality of the family. And a bonus for enthusiasts is the fact that this is easy, effortless and smooth. And what that means, it's not just a fun, fast, efficient and comfortable people carrier, but it's also a really good daily runabout. Now, tell me in the comment section down below, what do you guys think of the Kia Carens Clavis EV, and will you pick it over its ICE-powered counterpart? And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I've come to the end of this video. If you did like the video, please do hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. It really helps us out and it encourages us to bring you more such videos sooner in the future.